Hi guys, how you doing? It's JB from the Househeadz here. A nice wee cheeky video showing you how I made one of the tracks on the new album, which is now available on Bandcamp. Househeadz presents Hands Up Generation. It's 9 tracks of classic hardcore breakbeat, rave, whatever you want to call it, influenced by people like Slipknot, Alternate, Bizarre Inc., and DJ Seduction, guys like that, labels such as Rabbit City Records, Formation Records, Night Force Records, all the sort of big hardcore anthems before it kind of went jungle, drum and bass, happy hardcore. So you're essentially talking between 1991 and 1994 to sort of get a wee hingy. So, anyways, this track we're breaking down is called Hardcore Feelings. And this was the second track I think I made. Originally, what I wanted to do was make a 2 track EP along the same lines as the Dave Charlesworth Energizer and Slipknot SMD tracks, a kind of variation of both of them put together. And then the sort of project sort of took legs. And before I knew it, I had about 4 or 5 tracks. So I thought to myself, well, let's just keep going and make some more and release it as a second album, so to speak. So I had lots of fun doing this. Absolutely brilliant times making these tracks. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick blast of the track, what it sounds like, and then I'll go through the individual parts. So we'll work for the top down. So we'll go kick drum, drums, breakbeats, bass, pianos, stabs, vocal samples, any effects, and then finally I'll show you my mastering chain before it gets sent off to the master engineer for it to be mastered for releasing an album. But here's a quick blast of the track so far. So there you go, that's roughly what this track sounds like. 150 BPM, is UK hardcore for 91 to 94. So we'll just start off, I'll pick a wee section here, we'll just sort of loop it up, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of just sort of go through the track, so to speak. So we'll just loop this wee section here. Right, so first off, kick drum. And it's just basically a sample kick drum that I got for a record, I think it was. I can't quite remember. It's just one of the many kicks I've got saved in my sample folder. So basic 909 kick drum in mono, of course. All kick drums definitely have to be in mono. Rolled off some of the bottom end for the subs and then boosted a wee bit in the 100k hertz frequency and added a wee bit of overdrive as well, and that's your kick drum, basic. So drums, so I split my drums into 2 parts. I've got drums and then I've got breaks or breakbeats. So drums, what we've got here are some claps, some hi-hats, and a 909 open hat. So the hi-hats come from a brilliant sample pack, which I thoroughly recommend you get if you're a producer and you're producing this type of stuff. It's the Alternate sample pack. Shout out to Mark Archer. How do Mark? Absolutely brilliant pack, full great stuff to use in the productions. 9 times out of 10 I normally go for the drums, but this is the loop that I got from Mark's pack. Just a simple hi-hat loop, nothing special. And then when you add that with the 909 open hat, which is just from the Ableton drum kit. You get that basic groove. Nothing more, nothing less. Perfect. Claps are from a Billy Daniel Burner sample pack. And it's just a nice wee sort of clap groove. Perfect. Use this a lot in my productions. Really good. So that's what it sounds like with the drums, the kick. So pretty basic stuff, really. Nothing special. So to the break beats, and again, there's 2 break beats here layered on top of each other. One for the alternate sample pack, and one from Billy Daniel Bunter's sample pack. So the first break, pretty self-explanatory, really. And the one from Billy Daniel Bunter, again, nice groove. But when you layer the 2 of them on top, gives you a nice groove. And then with the kick and drums, just pushes the track along nicely. Quite simple, really. At the end of the day, nothing special. Processing, breaks, again in mono. Rolled off the bottom end so it doesn't clash with the kick drum, because you want the kick drum to punch through, obviously. And the breaks are there just to add the groove. You're no wanting. So if I was to take off the roll off the low end, you can hear they're a wee bit more bassy. But take them off. A wee bit of glue compression, and then drum bus, which is a fantastic plugin. Take off a drum bus, and right away you can tell the difference. Thickens up the drums really, really nice. And the drum bus is also used on the hi-hats as well. As you can see, it thickens it right up. Brilliant. So that's essentially the drums. There's a 909 crash. Just a simple 909 sample. Nothing much, nothing less. Again, drum bus, and it's also got a wee bit of reverb and a delay for the send tracks down the bottom. So that's essentially the drums. Bass. So again, bass, 2 layers, a top bass and a sub. Right, so I've not done my housework. Normally I'm quite pernickety with the old housekeeping stuff, and I name all the parts, but I've just not done it in this one. I don't know why. So bass, typical FM bass. So the top, that's got a wee bit of delay on it, just to make it get a wee bit more movement. And then your sub bass. So sub bass, all the high frequencies rolled off, which gives you that. Now, processing. This is a trick I learned off John Kong, off Left Wing Cody. So the 2 bass tracks are routed to a bus, and the processing on the bus is rolled off the top end about to between 100 and 120, 130 hertz, and then add bass, plug in for waves. Nothing changed here, not a thing. It's just a default preset. But if you take it off, right away, you hear the difference it makes to the sub. So see, mute everything else. And so if you just and that's essentially the bass. As I say, quite a simple setup. Bass is on Serum, and the top bass is an FM bass built in what was one of the Ableton instruments. Quite a simple patch, really, nothing more, nothing less, and it worked really well for the type of track. So that takes us to the stab part that's playing in this, and again, this is a stab that I got from Billy Daniel Winter's sample pack, and just luckily it happened to be in the same key, so it just fitted perfectly. And again, processing, rolled off, a wee bit EQ, boosted it a wee bit in the high frequencies, kickstart isn't welcome here, and this is my go-to saturator plugin from SSL Native. It's called the X Saturator, and it is superb. So if I take it off, just gives it a really nice warmth. It helps it punch through the mix. So along a bit, we've got the first of the, well, not the first, but another vocal sample. You might recognise this. Originally sampled by the Prodigy. It comes from James Brown. It's a James Brown sample, and there's actually a bit that I've taken away for the start of this sample, which you'll hear in a wee second. So I've took out the Bosch bit because I didn't want it in the track, but it just adds a wee extra element to that part of the track. It comes in quite a bit. It's featured down here as well. And then at the end of the track, so that's the first vocal sample part. So piano is a sample, but I grabbed it for a record called Dance with Power Bass Construction. I think it's been used a few times, I'm not quite sure. So piano. And again, processing, bottom end rolled off, some saturator, get a wee bit of sparkle, and that's it, that's the piano. Simple. And then the vocal part comes in. Which was taken from an Urban Shakedown sample pack, and it just sits. Nice simple piano line. Also in this part of the track as well is a very well known sample. Slipmatt used this in SMD. It originally comes from Tone Loc. I think it's Funky Cold Medina. I can't quite remember. But
let's do it.
It's just basically,
Let's do it.
I think it's at the start of the track. But again, it just adds a wee bit of just lets the track build up again. Processing again, in mono, bottom end rolled off, saturation. Simple. And goes back to the stab. So there's two other stabs in here. One is from a DJ Technotrance record. So shout out to the big man, shout out to Big Alec. Just to add a wee bit of texture to the wee break it down bit. And the stab is sampled from a DJ Seduction tune, which I can't quite remember. So, play it.
Let's do it.
So that brings us back, or rather nicely, to the sort of main part of the track. This was the sample that actually kick-started it off, and how I built the track round about this sample. Now, this is you'll know it for the Rack Pack tune, but it was originally a Bizarre Inc. tune. I think the track's called Raise Me, and it's the Eon remix. Now, I'm not sure if Eon sampled it off Rat Pack or if Rat Pack sampled it off Eon. I don't know. I don't really care. It sounds brilliant. But speaks for itself, really. So yeah, that the whole track was built on that one sample. So if you go on to the start of the track with the drums, the DJ bit, it mixes up.
Let's do it.
That introduces you to the sort of musical elements of the track. So the first 17 bars are for the DJ mix in. Obviously there's 16 bars rather, and 16 bars for the DJ mix out. That was one thing I wanted to do, was make them DJ friendly, because a lot of hardcore tunes back in the day weren't. They were an actual bugger to mix sometimes, as you guys with the two Technics 1210s can testify to. So in this day and age, it was important for me to have the DJ intro and outro so that DJs can mix in and out the track in their sets, radio shows, what have you. But that is essentially it. Now, there's one last wee thing. One thing I noticed about sort of listening to hardcore tracks when I was doing sort of research and all that is there's very little effects in the tracks for the back in the day. You get the crashes, of course, maybe a reverse cymbal, rather. It's easy for me to say. And this is just a sort of wee impact that just drops. So it's just to sort of introduce the fact that there's something happening. There's a change, a transition.
Let's do it.
And like, there's only 4 throughout the entire track. And that's all the effects. That is it. very bare in terms of effects. That was the point. It's more about the melody and the dancing to the track.
Let's do it.
So, master change. So, how I produce, and I've always done this, is there's no written rule for this. Everybody does it in their own way. The way I prefer to do it is I'll bus all the individual tracks to a track called what I call a pre-master. Okay, and then the pre-master is then sent to the main output. So there's nothing on my main channel. I don't know why there's a Fab Filter Pro sitting there. That's a mistake. Just get rid of that. Anyways, there's nothing on the main output. Not a thing, right? And that's the way it should be. What I do is I put everything to my pre-master channel. So I've got a chain set up here. And what I've got is a utility, a SSL native bus compressor, saturator for a wee bit of warmth, and an RX 950 just to get a wee tiny bit of crunch and a wee bit of brightness in the top end. And that's essentially the mastering channel. So if I play it back, that's it on, that's it off.
Let's do it.
So you can see it's not really doing much. It's kind of just gluing the track together. You're just watching the needle moving. 1 dB, 2 dB maximum, just to glue everything together. Saturate just to get a wee bit of warmth. There's only 2 dBs saturation going into it. And then the RX, I don't know, you'll maybe hear it better in the hi-hats. So that's it on, that's it off.
Let's do it.
So it just gives it a wee tiny bit of sparkle on the top end, around about 1200 hertz, and if you remove it, the brilliance is all the way up, essentially. And that's it. It's just a tiny wee amount, no too much. The output level still sitting at dB. The filter is at maximum. The input gain is about 1 dB, and that's it. That is basically the entire project. And yeah, aye. So as I said, that was track 2, and it's called Hardcore Feelings. So aye, there you have it. So there you go, that's a breakdown of the track. It's just for educational purposes, just to let you see my production process and how I do things and sounds I use and plugins I use. I've got my favourite plugins. The SSL, saturator and bus compressor are 2 of the plugins I use on every day and every single preset, every single track I do rather. And then the rest are essentially Ableton stock plugins. Reverb, Valhalla Room, a fantastic reverb. The Medium, again, Valhalla. Delay, I've got 2 set up. I've got a Ableton stock delay, ping pong, all the way up, dry weight all the way up, feedback about roughly no more than 30% is my general rule. And on the other delay, I have got the Waves H delay, which I absolutely love. It's a great delay, and that just gives me a nice wee alternative to the Ableton delay, and that is essentially that. So hope you enjoyed the video. Leave us a wee comment down below if you liked or disliked, feedback or anything like that, any questions you may have. Happy to answer, and we'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.